In this video, I'll teach you how I made this 6 pieces blouse, how to cut your cup perfectly, and how to cut the A-line flare sleeve. Stay with me in this video from the beginning till the end so you can learn how to do all this. Welcome back everyone, and thank you for watching. Let's get started. You can achieve this with 2.5 yards to 3 yards of fabric. It depends on your size. You can see the way the cup came out after I was on, and now I padded it. Let's get into the tutorial. So the first thing is to have my paper right here, my starting point line, 1 inch line for the bottom placket, and I have my, you can see the bottom placket there. Then I have my bust point of 12.5 inches. I have my waist and my underbust point of 17 inches. My underbust of 17 and the waistline of 19 inches. Then the full length is about 26 inches. So I'm going to mark the neckline right here. So I'll be marking 3 inches. I'm going to be starting all my measurements from the bottom placket mark that we have. 3 by 3 inches for this neck width and for the neck width and the neck depth. As you can see that I'm going to connect it just like so. Then after doing this, the next thing I'm going to do is to get my shoulder measurement. The shoulder I'm working with is 17 inches, which is divided by 2, I have 8.5. I'm going to mark my 8.5 right here. Then I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. I'm going to mark the shoulder slope this way. Then I'm going to get the armhole length. So bust divided by 6 plus 1.5 inches. So mine I get 9 inches because the bust is 45 inches. So I'm going to mark the 9 inches right here, as you can see me doing. Then I'll get my straight line by marking the 8.5 inches here. Then I'm going to connect those lines with my ruler, just as you can see me doing now. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to divide this, what I have here, by 2. What I have there is that I'm going to divide it, and I'm going to get 4.5 inches. I have a mark right there. Then I'll come out by 3/4 inch. Then I'm going to connect these lines right here now. Then I'm going to connect it from this line to the upper with a straight line, just like this. Then I'm going to get my bust measurement again, which is 45 inches divided by 4, and that will give me 11.25 inch. 45 divided by 4 gives me 11.25 inch. Then I'm going to mark my 11.25 inch right here, as you can see. Then I'm going to connect it to the armhole just like so. Then after doing that, now the next thing I'm going to do is to mark my bust span, that is the nipple to nipple measurement. Then I'm going to mark 4.5 inches. The nipple to nipple measurement is 9 inches. So I'm going to just connect the lines just like this. Then after doing that, I'm going to come down by 1 inch from on this place, just so I do not have a sharp edge around there, to be able to blend the curve of the cup properly. Then after doing that, now what I'm going to do is to come to the waistline, to the underbust line. Then I'm going to come on this side by 2 inches and here 1/2 inch. If you're on the smaller bust, you can just mark 1.5 on one side and 1/2 on the other side. So I'm going to connect the lines just like so, as you can see me doing. Right. So I'll connect it like this. Then I'm going to make a curve from the underbust to the 1 inch that we came down by from the bust point. Just as you're going to see me doing, I'm going to connect it just this way. Then I'll connect it from the other side as well. Make a curve around here for my cup, just like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to measure what I have around the armhole here. Then I'm going to measure it, and what I have there is about 11 inches. So I'm going to divide that by 2, and I'll mark 5.5. I have a mark right there. So I'm going to make use of the curvy part of my ruler, of my pattern master. Then I'm going to connect the line from the 1 inch that we came down by to this point here. Then I'm going to connect the line just as you can see me doing. Just as you can see me doing like this. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come out here by 1 inch, you know, to get the extension here, there. Then I'm going to connect the line into this line as you can see me doing right here. I'll blend it into the curvy parts that I marked earlier, just as you can see me doing now. So I'm going to connect it just like this, and that is what we have. So after doing that, the next thing I'm going to do is to extend this so we do not have any shortage. Extend it to the armhole just like so. So what I'm going to be doing now is to mark my bust measurement. I already have it marked there. So 11¼ I'm going to mark it again since I do not have any whatsoever allowance or that or whatever on this side. So I'm going to mark exactly 11¼ inch. I'm going to go to the underbust. To the underbust, I have 37. 37 divided by 4 will give me 9¼ So I'll mark my 9¼ here, as you can see. Then I'll add the 2.5 inches here. So the next thing I'm going to do is my waist. I have 38 inches for my round waist. Then I'm going to divide it by 4 and I have 9½. So I'll mark the 9½ right here. Remember, I am starting my markings from the 1 inch placket after the line. So I'll mark the 2.5 inches there, as you can see me doing. The hip is the same thing as the bust, 45 divided by 4, 11¼ So I'll mark my 11¼ right here, and I am going to add the 2.5 inches, just like this. Then I'll start connecting the lines, just like this. So I'll pick up my ruler and I'll connect the lines just as you can see me doing, like this. Then I'll connect it like this. So just follow the lines and connect the lines just like this. So I'm going to be using the curvy part here because it's the hip area. So connect like so. So after doing that, now the next thing I'm going to do is to come here by 2 inches here, which is the difference between my front and the back waistline. I'll connect it to the bust, to the bust point, just like this. So I'm going to cancel this area. Every area that I'm cancelling here are the part that I'm going to cut out. So after doing that, now what I'm going to do now is to start cutting it out. We are done with the front pattern. So I'm just going to start cutting it out just as you can see. So watch the way I'm cutting it out so you can properly see the way to cut it out, so you will not cut where you're not supposed to cut out. Please kindly give my videos a thumbs up, subscribe, and support me by doing this. So I'm going to extend this line so that I'll be able to cut it out and not to have a shortage. So just cut it and not cut it out entirely. Cut it but not cut it out entirely. Then I'm just going to tape it down here. Then you can see that we have a shortage. So what I'm going to do now is to extend the line like so, back to the waistline. So I'll start cutting it out just like this. As you can see me, by the time you cut this cup out, you will see how your cup will stand properly and give you a very nice fitting. I promise you that. So I'm going to cut it out just this way. Watch the armhole I'm cutting out and not the first armhole. So now the next thing I'm going to do, you can see the way they are matching here, and it is properly okay. You can see our pattern is fine. So we are going to move to the back now. The chest line for the back is 10 inches. The waistline is 17 instead of 19. And the length is 27 because I want the back neckline to be a little longer than the front. So we have 3 by 1 inch for the neck width and depth. 3 inches for the neck width, 1 inch for the neck depth. Then I'm going to connect the lines just as you can see me doing, just like this. So after that, I'm going to mark my 8.5 inches for for this part. You can see the back does not have any. I'm going to be cutting this not on fold but separately because we are going to be having a joining. So 9 inches, just the same way we cut for the front, and I'm going to mark it just like so. So we're just going to repeat what we have done in the front to the back as well. Just divide it by 2 and I get my 4.5 inches. Then I'm going to come out by 1/4 inch. Come out by 1/4 inch. Then I'm going to mark it just like so. Get my bust measurements 11.5, 11 1/4. I'll mark it right here. Then I'll connect it together, just as you can see me doing like this. Get your curve like this, and we are done with the armhole. So I'm going to come here and mark my 4.5 inches for the nipple to nipple measurement. I'll come to the waistline. I'll come to the waistline now. Then I'll mark 1/2 inch on both sides, just as you can see me doing. Then I'm going to come down here by 1. This is the chest line and not the bust point. The back does not have a bust point, so I'll connect it to this line like this. Then from the down part, from the hip line, I'll come up by 2 inches right here. Then I'll mark my dart from that line. I'll connect the lines just like so. So now what I'm going to do is to come here from the shoulder by 3 inches to mark my princess line, princess dart for the back. So I'm going to use my free hand so I can have a properly curved princess line just like this, as you can see me. If you cannot use the free hand, you can make use of a pattern master, but you have to be careful so you don't have a cup around here, so you can lay properly. I hope you understand. So I'm going to come to the waistline here to remove the zipper bulge, so to avoid any bulge around there. So I'll come down from the waistline by 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect it to the other side, just as you can see me doing like this. So in the process of doing this now, I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to mark it like this. Then I'm going to open it up, then place it, open it up to the end and place it just like so. Then I'm going to tape it down. I'm going to tape it down. Just make sure that you're properly fixed it. So I'm going to tape it down like this. Then in this process you can see that the dart would have shifted a little bit, so I need to reconnect my lines. So I'm going to remark that line to make it straight. Then the darts, I'm going to make them properly. I'm going to remark it out so you can see half on both sides. Then I'm going to, there's no way you're going to do this and you will not have a kind of shifted dart. I hope you understand. So I've reconnected it like that and I have a properly fitted dart. So now I have marked my waistline and hip line just the same way we did in the front, and have marked it like that. So I've cut it out and I'm going to cut out the darts just like this, then the hip line just like this, and the armhole area. So we are done cutting out the back as well, and this is what we have for the back. So now I'm going to be adding a gusset here. You can add 2 inches, you can add 3 inches, you can add 4, you can add whatever you wish. So I am going to be making use of 3 inches gusset extension. So I'm going to mark my 3 inches there, and I'm going to connect it from the waistline. Connect from the waistline to the gusset just like this. Then I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut it out now, and I'm going to be cutting these pieces on. This is the side back, so I'm going to be cutting it on both sides of the side back. This is the middle back, so I will not be cutting on these parts. I'm not going to be cutting there because it's the middle back. Cancelled, mark. So anywhere I write mark, you're going to be cutting it on that side. So you're not going to be cutting on this side. I hope you understand. So I'm going to be marking here, you're cutting there as well. So we're going to be having it like this after cutting it out. So I hope you understand. So I'll go to the front pattern as well. This is the front pattern, and I'm going to be cutting it on this side, and this is the middle front. I'll be cutting it on this side, but not on this side. So the middle front and the middle back, we are not going to be cutting it there, except the place that I have marked. So I'm done cutting out the gusset, and you can see what we have. So we are going to be placing it on each other, and you can see that the waistline of the front and the back are matching perfectly. So now we are going to come down to the hip line. So now I have a space there, you can see. So I'm just going to mark it like this, and because I want the back to be longer than the front. If you do not want yours to be longer than each other, you can just make the line the same and cut out whatever extension you have around there. I hope you understand. So I'm going to be curving it out like this. I hope you understand, because I want mine to have the back to be longer, just about 1 inch or 1.5 inch longer. That is why. So you can cut yours to be the same length. So you can see what we have now. It is perfectly matching. Perfectly matching. So now I'm cutting it. I've cut out my lining, and you can see 1/2 inch all around and 1 inch at the down part. So I removed 1 inch from all the linings. I hope you understand. I removed 1 inch. So you can see I have 1.5 inch at the side here, 1/2 inch at the armhole, 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here, and 1 inch at the down part for sewing allowance. I hope you understand. So for the front, I'm going to bring out the front now, and this is what I have for the middle front. 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch at 1 inch at the down parts, and 1/2 inch at the side. So you can see I already ironed my interfacing. I have 1/2 inch right here for turning of lining after the bottom placket extension. I hope you understand. So now I'm going to bring the side front, and this is the side front. I have 1.5 inch on the side. I hope you can see 1.5 inch here, 1/2 inch all around here, and 1.5 inch here because of the lining, and I have 1 inch at the hem for the hem allowance. So that will be all for this part, and I'm going to be uploading the sewing part next. Please kindly stay with me. I do not want this video to be too long. Stay with me to see the way I've cut it out to achieve this this nice blouse. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to see you on my next video. Thank you. Bye.